What did the ancient Egyptian pharaoh mystics Andrew Tate and Dr. Strange all have in common? They know how to harness the magic of their hands.
You have to complete the circuit. I'm full of electricity, my blood's on fire. And by completing the circuit...
Tiger blood.
Try it at home. Try the hand symbol. Complete the circuit of your body. Make the electrons flow. And I do it because it increases my powers. It's like a power-up.
All sorts of Hollywood movies, when people are casting spells, when they're using magic, it all stems from the hands. Starting off with my man Satguru, and he's going to break down a little bit of what makes the hands so magical. Hit me with the real-life Dr. Strange. Let's go.
Sadhguru, is there a spiritual energy in our hands? Do our hands have any spiritual significance?
These human hands can do many things. Apart from eating and doing physical work, they are capable of doing many things. If you bring your energy system to a certain way or to a certain level of vibrance and intensity, then you will know that hands are a great instrument. In yoga we say, the ring finger, from here to here, you can control the whole universe. It is everything. This is like the mouse for your computer. Here, you can just adjust your system whichever way you want, if you know what to do. Don't go about rubbing this, it won't work like that. If you know what to do with this is like the mouse to your computer, you can take it wherever you want. You can just activate your system whichever way you want, just by handling the ring finger. So hands are capable of doing many things, apart from eating and doing physical work.
And it's a big leap, but I want you guys to think, like throughout your whole life, why have hands been the means through which spells are cast, right? They shoot spells through their hands, or maybe a wand, which is really another form of hand tensioning, to be able to hold a stick in this particular means and point it. Nowadays, we use a remote, we click on things. That's that same force of directed tension, right? So what is a wand? Really, it's just you're holding something that orients the posture of your hand in the direction that you're pointing it to channel that energy.
Just turning your hands around. You're just changing the way you breathe. This and this is very different. Hands are an instrument like this. In India this means no.
So, right? So just that idea that opening your hands forward changes like the way that energy moves through. If you rake your hands forward, you're now receiving. If you have your palms up, it's more of like a, why do we ask for things like this, right? It's like this motion is how we receive, it's how we ask, it's how we open. So if you're trying to get yourself into an energetic place where you're ready to receive and take in, simply moving your hands into a forward, open, upright position can bring that energetic disposition into your whole being. So this wise spiritual master is telling us that our hands are the key to control our universe and our life. And then you get into Dr. Strange. And then for this movie, they learned how to cast spells.
I've been dancing for 10 years now and have a black belt in karate. So I think putting those two together made me uniquely qualified for making the gestures for the magic moments in the movie. I do hip hop and I do popping and tutting. And tutting is only arms and hands. And then it also breaks down even smaller to finger tutting, which you're doing boxes and shapes with just your fingers.
So this is the guy who did the choreography for Dr. Strange.
It can get really funky where you're just kind of like doing alien fingers.
You see them doing? He's the wizard who put it together, right? Look at that.
JoJo is doing want to get good at this stuff
because there's something there, right?
I make gestures to materialize these weapons and powers, and he gets to fit those things into the actual fight.
Hand symbols, hand seals have been associated with magic since the beginning. But I come from it from a more biomechanical perspective, right? I come from it from the place of how does this actually change the way that we are applying athleticism? How does our body physically move differently with different bases of hand tension. And this comes from my man, David Weck. So we're going to bring it on over to Weck and approach this whole idea of hand tensioning and the secret powers from a more physical, grounded, less spiritual out there perspective, but then tie it back into that Doctor Strange energy.
Yin and yang, right? I prioritize the bones as number one, because without the bones, I'm a blob and I got no leverage to do nothing, right? So the bones are number one, and then it's the fascia, which has the direct tie into the nervous system. And
if you don't know who David Weck is, this is the creator of the Bosu ball. He's a mad movement scientist. We call him Uncle Weck in the movement community. He's based out in San Diego, and he's come up with a lot of conceptions about movements that have been very influential in the movement world, from coiling core to head over foot movement. A lot of stuff that I've taken into my personal practice has been completely revolutionary. He's known for the Bosu ball, but he's also got all sorts of crazy other inventions. And hand tensioning is something that he's really into. He does this mudra called the core fist. And he's going to be talking about right now why that's so important.
Fascia, for lack of a better definition, is just basically that which surrounds and separates everything. Well, and I know I take it on a tangent, but if we're talking about the structure of the hand, I got to it from this spiraling movement, moving the distal extremity with the least amount of effort, the fastest that I possibly can. Yeah. Right. And it's basically this, and it naturally winds up to this. Yeah. And there's different meridians. Like if you do it enough, like I did it, then you come here, and then Floyd Mayweather gets hit and you go here. Mm-hmm. Right. And what it does is it triangulates and creates a bone circuit through a triangle.
So you can try this.
And if you think about in geometry, the triangle is the strongest shape.
Not bending.
Because each angle buttresses the other angles. And so when I can triangulate the bone structure, I can put massive force through the longitudinal axis of a bone.
Now this takes
Think about what your femur has endured with 1,000 pounds on your back, right? And now put yourself horizontal and put the weight on your femur that way. It's the longitudinal. The bone's going to hold up a house.
To the middle of your paw.
It's you put it that way, it's going to snap easy, right?
The other two.
And so when I make a ball up fist like this, that grab onto mommy, hold on to the tool. This is a necessary thing, but it's for the purposes of holding something. It's not for the purposes of going to extreme tension here, because here
And Weck's argument is essentially that this makes a stronger punching fist than holding it like this. And it's true, right? It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of getting used to. But where I really notice the difference in this is when I run. I'll play around with different ways of holding my hands. And this normal fist, when you run, does not have the same degree of bounce tensioning that this core fist has. And I'll play with different variations. We got the 6-shooter. We got the hang loose. And then there's this one, the dart. These are all tensionings that Weck has kind of played around with. The dart is interesting because the dart has a more like nuanced bounce to it. When you hold your hands like this, you get more like a basketball player. You get that juke energy. So each way that you hold your hands actually correlates to a different physiological output and attribute. And that's really fascinating. And that's how I got into this stuff. Came at it from the physical and then exploring it from the metaphysical, right? And then seeing how
don't have the balance between the flexors and the extensors, because the flexors cave in upon themselves and they create a structure that does not have integrity. Each metacarpal is disintegrated from the others. That when I triangulate it like this, it sharpens it, it integrates it. I don't break these things. You could put, you put hundreds of pounds of force into that, and it's strong inherently. And then what it allows us to do is it allows us to be soft and fluid because the bone is already hard. And in terms of like the Tai Chi guy that gets his ass kicked by the second-year MMA guy, that's what happens. But see, I'm not interested in that kind of Tai Chi. I'm interested in, can I clear space? So I don't even think about like fighting. I think of Lawrence Taylor and Mike Tyson, not just Mike Tyson. So Lawrence Taylor is going to displace and replace your mass with my own. Whereas Mike Tyson's going to sit there and hit you. Lawrence Taylor's going to plow right through you. If you want to set up the bag and the meter and you want to see who can put more force into the bag, I want to play. Right? Let's see, how much can you put in? And I'm 60 pounds less. All right, let's see if I can do as much.
Yeah.
What is a demo?
Explaining the metaphysics of how our hands control the way that we engage with the universe, from opening our palms to receive, to the ability to place the thumb on different fingers, having different nuance to the way that we put a ring. And then we got Weck over here talking about how core fists can make you punch better and how it can tension through your whole body. And this is really true. The different mudras create this closed circuit loop. So this is an open chain mudra. This is an open chain mudra, but really what you're doing is you're locking the energy between those 2 points. When we come into these closed chain mudras, there's a really cool video coming up I'm going to show you guys. So we're just going to watch a second of it because this is an hour-long video. But check this guy out.
And they won't be listening to what you're saying. And largely the point of the scholar's cradle, okay, yes, it may
this
make you
guy
look more
is
scholarly,
going
and maybe
over
that's what
different
you want,
ways of holding your hands.
People, but actually, you are trying to get across information to your audience.
This is the first move, the scholar's cradle,
at all the important points, and to get the meaning of what you're saying. So if you distract them with pulsing like this,
don't flex
that's
the
not doing the job.
Cradle, because this is distracting. As
the apex cradle has to be established. Think of it like a cathedral. So these are the various fluting
this guy's video is an hour long.
Come together in great vault.
An hour long, going over different hand postures.
You may notice about cathedrals; they're very big and heavy.
I don't got the patience to watch the whole thing, but I'm really curious. We're going to skip through
and leave it there. What a lot of people will do is they will move around it. So if they want to say something like, well, you might think that, but it turns out that that's not actually true.
You got the apex.
See,
this
I
is
left
the apex.
The apex cradle where it was, and I moved my head.
Let's see the front.
So if you just drop this to 90 degrees,
holding your hands like this.
Again, notice my thumb is together, and there's space between all my fingers. It's very definitely
the Merkle.
Dropped cage. I think in American textbooks,
the front cage down, you got the Merkle.
The ground or grounded cage.
The prow.
And the prow shouldn't have thumbs together. If you drop into a prow with thumbs together, you look as though you're sort of diving into a swimming pool or something. And you want to drop into the prow. The prow should have this power.
Thumb bind.
Is the thumb bind. Now, the thumb bind, underused, I think. It's pretty easy to form. You just put your thumb tips together. The only thing to remember is you must splay the fingers.
Are these? And you've seen it. You've noticed it your whole life, whether you paid attention or not. There's different ways.
If you do, you can point with it. And if you do, it's not too intimidating because you're pointing at 8 people at once from rows A to about J in the auditorium. So no one person feels that he's being singled out. Oh, he means me. So you can thrust with it, but that's not really. It's great.
So we see it all around us. Why is it that, when they're training for Doctor Strange, they learn tutting?
These symbolic finger, eye, and body postures can vividly depict certain states or processes of consciousness. Mudras engage certain areas of the brain and exercise a corresponding influence on them. We can effectively engage and influence our body and our mind by bending, crossing, extending, or touching the fingers with other fingers. The origin of the mudras is a mystery. Mudras are not only found in Asia, but they are also used throughout the entire world. In their rituals, our European ancestors certainly were familiar with specific gestures, which they used to underline.
Have you ever considered in your life why this is a universal symbol? Why all around the world you will see these hand configurations being replicated by different cultures? Because this is an ancient technology. This is an ancient knowing that when we didn't have screens to distract us all day, when all we had was our body to sit and play, people were able to intuitively connect to and able to start to extract a contextual lens of understanding of, right, this kind of feels like this, and this kind of feels like this. And if you look at the ninjas, they had those 9 kaiju ken, which is something I've gone over in a past video, which is really fascinating because ninjas didn't have time to sit around and just play hand signs if it didn't have an effective usage. These people are trained killing machines. They're all about efficiency. So this has to have a practical use, or it wouldn't have survived the evolutionary pressures of people fighting to the death constantly.
The kujikiri, or 9 hand seals, are symbolic gestures that are made by crossing the fingers over each other in specific patterns across the palm. It may look mysterious at first glance, but the hand seals are essentially methods of meditation. Each hand seal is associated with a particular quality of psychological and spiritual energy, which can be invoked by the ninjutsu practitioner when he needs that quality for a specific task. The samurai and ninja both made use of these meditative techniques in order to harness the untapped energies of the mind for success in battle. There are different meanings associated with each symbol. For that reason, in order to activate a certain ability, the correct symbol must be performed first. The Kuji-kiri, 9 seals. Rin, power, strength of mind, body, spirit. Before any other Kuji can be effective, this one must be performed first. Power is channeled throughout the body, and it is associated with increased mental concentration as well as energy generation. This was traditionally done during battle preparation or training. The visualization for this Kuji is a fire or raw energy. It is associated with the root chakra, and once purified, becomes a catalyst for activating higher chakras. Mantra. I am empowered with vital energy. I am strong. I am strong. Pyo. Energy direction. The energy channeled by Rin is directed or controlled by the complex Kuji of Pyo. The energy within the body is connected to the energy outside of the body. Moreover, it is associated with the beginning of the soul's journey toward higher levels of spiritual consciousness through the second chakra, which is located in the lower dantian. In this area, which is about 2 inches below the navel, there is thought to be a reservoir of vital energy. The visualization is an intensely bright light that flows with one's breath. Mantra. I am not tempted by distractions. Or I am fearless. To. Harmony. Oneness with the universe or self. Connecting with the universe and meditating are important parts of being a shinobi. To Kuji is calming and intuitive, resulting in better harmony and balance and a deeper connection to one's environment. The third chakra focus point is the solar plexus and adrenal glands, which activate one's fight or flight response. This is a visualization of a bright light building in the solar plexus and the observation of the changes in its color. Mantra. I forgive all past and present injuries, offenses, and slights. Or I am in harmony with the infinite divine energy. Sha. Healing of self and others. Through the To, one is connected to the universe and its vibration. With the Sha, you can summon that harnessed energy to heal yourself and others. Healing arts often use this method, which is based on the idea of increasing one's own vibration. This hand seal is closely associated with Ki, which is said to be the energy force or center of the body, as well as the heart chakra. It is considered to be the boundary between the lower and higher spiritual realms. I am healed. Or divine energy flows through me, healing me and others. Of danger, feeling others' intent. This enhances a person's sensory awareness of their surroundings, including their emotional state and premonitions of danger. These outer bonds are the energy currents that precede an event. The fifth chakra is related to the throat, as well as the thyroid gland, which regulates the body's metabolism. Therefore, the area of visualization is the throat. Mantra. I see, feel, and know the internal connection between myself and everything else. Or, I am psychic. Jin. Awareness. Feeling thoughts of others, perhaps hiding your own. Despite its apparent similarity to intuition, awareness goes much deeper and may even seem intrusive, allowing the practitioner to hear others' thoughts while shielding their own. This high-level Kuji requires delicate care. You will be able to perceive with more clarity if you do not judge what you perceive from others. Associated with the pineal gland, the sixth chakra is said to be the gateway through which the soul meets the Holy Spirit. The visualization point is the center of the head, directly behind the eyes. Mantra. Through the infinite, I know the mind of each and all. Or, I am humble and knowing. Retsu. Dimension. Control of time and space. In theory, the Kuji opens the practitioner's mind to the perception of different flow patterns of energy, allowing the practitioner to control time and space. The idea is that all matter is composed of energy waves that are continuously recreated throughout the universe. Visualizing this recreation alters the perception of time. A technique like this could prove crucial in a mission or battle, among other areas. The pituitary gland, which is considered to act as a third eye, corresponds to this gland. The visualization point is at the top of the head. Mantra: I am the manifestation of a manifested reality. Or, I am charismatic. Zai: creation, understanding nature. While the To Kuji connects the practitioner to nature in a meditative and harmonious way, the Zai provides elements with a level of control. This can mean control of natural elements such as the sky, river, trees, and even animals to assist the practitioner in their intention. The Zai Kuji has no corresponding gland or chakra. The visualization is a large stream of light radiating from the lower chakras and extending upward. Mantra: I manifest reality. Or, I am the consciousness of the laws of nature. Zen: absolute enlightenment. According to mainstream stereotypes, the Zen Kuji offers a skill often attributed to ninjutsu. This is invisibility, or illumination. The Zen focal point is the expansion of the heavens, and the visualization is that of an infinite vast light filling a void, with oneself as a part of it. Mantra: I am the void and the light.
So it's not a matter of if this stuff is true. It's true. It works. It's real. It's just a matter of like getting to know it a little bit more and how you integrate it into yourself. And this is something I'm really fascinated by. This is why I've been exploring the tutting so much.
What they thought,
trying to unlock my inner Doctor Strange.
During the Christianization of the Nordic peoples, many gestures were initially prohibited, such as invoking the gods with raised arms. Later, these gestures were partially integrated into the Christian teachings.
You see Jesus.
If we observe the various gestures made by a priest saying the Mass, we can perhaps sense how these ancient peoples express themselves. But our everyday life is also characterized by gestures, the origins of which hardly anyone knows today. Crossing our fingers for someone, clapping our hands as applause, the handshake, holding hands, or giving someone the finger to display our low opinion of them.